Shalom. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Double honors to our elders and our apostles, great millstone. Peace and blessings to the elect. Samat coming to you with another lesson. And this is just going to be in the spirit. I didn't really have any particular topic or anything I wanted to go into, but the spirit was just on me to just kind of do a lesson. So, I'm just going to speak to the spirit, and Lord willing, some edification come out of it. But I'll just kind of go over a few things that kind of been on my spirit, a few observations I've had, a few meditations that I've had. Starting out ultimately with just I guess you could just start off with weak spirit, weak spirits and overcompensation. That's something that you may experience in your walk, whether it be you or you may notice it from another brother. A weak spirit. And usually when someone has a weak spirit, whether it's actually in the truth or just in the world in general, you'll notice that they tend to overcompensate for their inadequacy, for their lack thereof. They like to overcompensate. And they usually overcompensate in very extreme manners. They usually do it in ways that makes them appear to be, as they call it, tryhards, or doing too much, ass kisses, whatever the case is, and whatever context you apply it to, whether it's work, whether it's this truth, or whether it's just amongst a circle of friends or whatever. Salaki, if you hear my dryer in the background. That's typically like the traits of someone with a weak spirit. That's why it's so important to pray for faith and pray for a stronger spirit. And usually when you pray for a strong spirit, the Most High is going to give you experiences and obstacles to overcome. It's hard. Sometimes I find myself having difficulties even just... Salaki, give me a second. Salaki, that was bothering me. Sometimes I find it difficult myself to sincerely pray for the Most High to increase, my spirit, my strength in the spirit, because I already know what it comes with. You're not just going to wake up with a stronger spirit. The Most High is going to put you through situations and experiences that are going to make you have to test your strength. And it's just like when you do a hard workout, right? Like, you do a hard workout. For example, like the other day, I started a new workout or a new training block. So I've been working on increasing not only my endurance, but my my anaerobic endurance, which is essentially just a smart way, a fancy way of saying I've been working on increasing my speed over longer distances. Basically, I'm trying to run faster for longer. I can run this certain speed, sub 8 minute pace for maybe a mile and a half, but that's me pushing it to the max. So I've been working on trying to get it to 3 miles, 4 miles, you know what I mean? So holding that pace. So basically what the training is involved is very strenuous. So I've been doing basically 400 meter repeats, which 400 meter repeats is basically, if you think of the track, is one full lap, which typically one full lap at like an 8 minute pace might take like 2 minutes. But, for someone like myself, I'm not a runner, you know what I mean? So 8 minute paces is fast for me. For some people it's easy, but, for myself it's fast. We all start somewhere, right? So the point is, it's a very hard workout. You do 400 meter repeats. I was only able to manage to pump out 10. That was the goal, was to get 10. But when I got to my fourth rep, I literally was ready to quit, but I didn't quit. I kept going. I was fighting through it. 400 meter repeats, basically just do 400 meters, one full lap. It's a quarter mile. You do that, and I walk for like maybe a minute and a half, recover, let my heart rate come down a little bit, right back into it. After the fourth or fifth rep, that recovery is very it's not as good. You know, the first few laps, I was able to get my heart rate back down to like the 130s, which is good. And then run again, and it would get up to like maybe 170. But then after that fourth rep, man, I was in the 190s for the entirety of my workout. 190s for my whole run, and then during my recovery, which is my walking recovery, I was only able to get down into the high 150s. Sometimes I didn't even get to the 150s. I was in 160s. But if you know anything about heart rate, that's people run their races at 150, 160 beats per minute. You know what I mean? So let there be a testimony. But the point of the matter is, it's a very, very hard workout. But I had to push myself, and and it was hard. It was tough. But I understand the benefit that's going to come from the training. I understand the improvements in the cardiovascular health and the speed and the power and the strength in my legs and my lungs, the strength in my resilience in my mind, right? Pushing myself past my limit. And even when I was ready to quit 6 reps ago, I still had to do 6 more 400s, you know what I mean? Which is equivalent to 1.5 miles. So I still had to do 1.5 miles after already doing 1 mile. I had to do 1.5 miles more of these sprints, essentially. So, but I understood the benefits that come from it, right? They come after it, so they follow it. So sometimes, like I said, I'm reluctant to send up that prayer to ask the Most High to send me those trials, or send me the strength, because I already know that trials are going to come with it. But you have to be willing to accept it, man. 2 Timothy 1:7 says the Most High has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of a sound mind, right? Of love and of a sound mind. So Most High also states, believe is in the book of James. I believe it's in the book of James, don't quote me, where it says that he will, it may be in Corinthians, but it says he will not put you through he will not tempt you above that you are able to withstand, you know what I mean? But he'll always make a way with that temptation for you to escape. So we have to have faith in that. We have to have faith that the Most High is going to put us through situations. He will. Sometimes you'll go through little stuff, and it's not always a sense of correction or judgment, rebuke. Sometimes it's just the Most High just keeping you on your toes. You know what I mean? And you gotta be willing to accept that, man. You gotta be willing to accept everything that comes with this truth. The scriptures say, prepare your soul for temptation. You know what I mean? So we gotta always make sure we stand on our toes and we stand ready. All right. There's no time for a weak spirit. So you gotta check that weak spirit, leave that weak spirit at the door. All right. It's nothing wrong with being weak. It's all is wrong with staying weak. Once you acknowledge and realize that you're weak, it's on you to make the conscious effort and decision to change it, to grow strength, to build strength, all right, to become stronger. And you do that through repetition. You do that through exercise, both spiritual and physical. Physical exercise can aid in your spiritual growth. It can, and it will. Especially when you link the two together. You know what I mean? When you do it, like when I'm training, I'm doing hard workouts, a lot of times I pray to the Lord, man. You know what I mean? For the strength. You know what I mean? Look, it's real, bro. You put the Lord, and not even just that, also just being in the spirit of our forefathers. Our forefathers were warriors, man. You know what I mean? So when you're doing these hard workouts physically, mentally you're speaking to yourself like, Yasha Allah, I'm a prince of the power, house of David, I'm a God amongst men, you know what I mean? All this, whatever motivates you to push you to keep going, you know what I mean? It works for me. So, like I said, no time for the weak spirits. Just all the things that are happening in the earth, the times we're coming into. I mean, it's really at any day now, any moment, the Most High can implement these last major prophecies. And they can all happen as a domino effect, meaning when one prophecy happens, it falls, that chip falls, and it hits another chip, and that chip falls, and it hits another chip, and so on and so forth. It's a domino effect. These last few prophecies, we're waiting on the famine of the word. We're waiting on civil unrest, civil war, anarchy, Jacob's trouble, persecution of the Israelites, which will come with the famine of the word, which will also lead, which will lead into civil unrest and all these other things, because yes, the Israelites are going to be persecuted, but there's going to be a lot of other sects of individuals that also get persecuted. Hence the reason why you're going to have civil war amongst all men. But as we know that the judgment's going to start at the Lord's house, so all of it's going to center Israelites, Israel. It's all going to center Jake at the end of the day. You know, and then with that, you know, you have the mark of the beast, you know, the great savior, you know what I mean? So it's all coming full circle. You know, all we can do is watch and pray. You know, it's the Lord's, it's on the Lord's time. It's the Lord's battle. You know, right now we're just fishers of men until the Most High changes us and tells us to go hunt and makes us hunters. But for right now, all we can do is wait on the Lord, you know, do this work, you know, better yourself, take care of your responsibilities, you know, do what you got to do, have your little hobbies and things and pastimes in this world, but never allow yourself to get tangled in this life, man. It's not worth it. This world is just, it's all bullshit, man. It's all bullshit, bro. The whole concept of life, paying bills, violence, crime, rat race, the days going by so damn fast. There's another prophecy that's coming up, you know what I mean? Which is beautiful, but it's beautiful in the sense of the prophecies are going to come to pass, but in the sense that, you know, time just flying by so fucking fast. When you blink, you know, days have passed. You blink twice, weeks have passed. You know, you blink 3, 4, 5 times, months have passed. You know what I mean? So on and so forth. So, you know, there's really no time to enjoy anything in this life. So even if you know, obtain possessions and things and a lifestyle, it's a means to an end, bro. It's all going to come to an end. And at any given time and moment, it can be taken away. So, you know, that's, you know, the balance with that is, you know, embrace the present and be content with what you have. Stop thinking about what you don't have and focus on what you do have. You know what I mean? Because there's always somebody with less there, with less than you. You know, it's always somebody who lacks more than you. So, you know, just let that be a reminder. But, you know, the point is just pray for strength and just, you know, be focused on the Lord and overcome this shit, man. We almost out of here, bro. Shit is it's jaded, man. This place is jaded, bro. You know what I mean? And the only thing that we have of value and substance is this truth, is our relationship and connection to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. You know, and outside of that, bro, nothing else fucking matters, bro. It really doesn't. This world will pollute you, bro. Even having money in this world, bro, is you're gonna still deal with the same bullshit, bro. The same monotony, and still gotta worry about thieves and robbers, and you still gotta fucking. It's just all bullshit, bro. So, you know, with that being said, I'm gonna leave it there. You know, just kind of, you know, spiritual rant going into the, you know, weak spirits and, you know, the pollution in this world, you know, so on and so forth. So, Lord willing, you were edified by this lesson. Till next time, shalom.